Well, I've been poking around on YouTube today, and I've seen a lot of people are making videos about the first time they had to pull their gun on somebody. So why not? I'll make one of them. I used to carry a Ruger LC380. It was the first pistol I ever bought. Actually, it was the first gun I ever bought, because I had a 22, but that was my grandpa's old gun that he got when he was a kid, so I'm not going to carry that. But I went out and I got a Ruger LC380, just a little 7-round mag, one in the chamber. Super long trigger pull, but really compact, small little gun, easily hideable. Well, it was moving day about 2 years ago, and it was probably 10 o'clock at night, and I was in a U-Haul truck, and my little brother was in a truck behind me, and then my uncle was in a truck behind him. And of course, getting onto the highway for where we were going, I missed my exit to get off towards the apartment that I was going to move into, and so I just took the next one, and turns out that next exit led into an area that didn't look all that great of an area of town. Not real bad, but worse than the area that I was going to. And I ran up to a stoplight, and the stoplight turns red. First one there. And I'm sitting there waiting at the stoplight, and I'm just kind of looking around because I like to keep an eye on what's happening around me. Well, I get over, just try to close this window, see if we can cut down on some noise. So I'm here just a working. But looking around, trying to kind of see what's going around. It's dark. I don't really know this area that I'm in. So, and I look over, and there's a guy going across the crosswalk. Okay, nothing really out of the ordinary. It's a little late for people to be walking around typically, but whatever. So this guy comes walking around, and I'm just kind of watching him as he gets in front of my truck, and I start noticing that he's carrying a socket extension that's like, it's like a 12-inch socket extension. Red flag, something's not right. And that's all he's carrying. He's carrying it in one hand and just beating it onto his other hand and looking around. He's got that, I'm a big bad guy, hey, don't mess with me, I'm tough, that swagger walk, swinging side to side kind of thing that people do. I just make fun of them for doing it because it looks dumb, and it's got to be exhausting to walk like that. You see people walking down the side of the road, swinging, moving their arms, kicking their feet, dipping and bobbing and weaving. It's got to be exhausting. That's probably why a lot of people that walk like that don't have jobs, because they're just too dang tired to go get a job after walking like that all day. But that's a different thing. Anyway, back to my story. He's doing this across the crosswalk, and he's beating that socket extension up against his hand. I'm just kind of wondering, what in the world is this guy doing? I keep following him, and he goes over to the edge of the end of the crosswalk, but instead of keeping walking, he just stops right there. Okay, that's a little weird. And he just turns and he looks right at me, and he kind of walks, down beside the truck a little way. He's a little distance away from me, 10-12 feet. And when I got into the U-Haul truck, I took my pistol out of the holster because it was kind of uncomfortable to sit on, and with that kind of seat it would be hard to get to if I needed it. So I just put it up, I put it right in the cup holder that was on the center console. And I'm just kind of keeping an eye on this guy because the light's still red. And he turns and looks right at me through the window. And he starts beating that thing against his hand and starts walking up to the side of the truck. I'm just sitting there looking at him. And he starts beating that thing up against his hands. He's got this real mean look on his face and starts walking, bopping up to the truck. I thought, okay, this guy's got bad intentions. He's walking around at night. He's got a 12-inch socket extension that'll bust some stuff up. So there's his weapon. He's got a mean look on his face, and he's walking straight towards my truck. And so I just took it. I didn't point it at him or nothing. I just pulled it out, and just held it. I just held it right there up to where he could see it through the window and just looked at him, letting him know, hey, if there's some bad intentions that you're planning on acting on, you might want to rethink what you're doing, because that probably won't be a good outcome for you. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't challenge him back, say, oh yeah, come on, I dare you. I didn't get hyped up. I don't remember any adrenaline flowing. I just simply picked it up, kept it pointed in a safe direction, because he wasn't even to the truck yet. But he looks at me, he's just glaring right at me as he's walking up, and once he gets to a certain point, he looks down and he sees it in my hand. And he just goes, oh, and immediately backs up, just kind of jerked backwards and starts walking back. And then I see him look back behind me. He goes, okay, there's my next target. So he starts walking backwards. Well, my little brother was in the truck behind me, and he typically carries a knife, but I would rather my little brother not have to deal with that situation. I'm not going to let my family be in a situation to where, especially when they're helping me do something, where they get into some kind of danger of getting hurt or just hassled, messed with. And so I said, okay, this is getting into a worse situation now, because somebody wants to attack me, okay, it's me. But attacking family, as many of you know, it's just not a good idea for anybody. And so he starts walking back towards my little brother's truck. Said, there's a bad situation here. Put the truck in park. I grabbed the pistol and went to reach to open the door. And at that point, the light turned green. I said, you know what? Instead of messing with this dickhead, let's get out of here. So I throw it in drive and I take off. Of course, my little brother and my uncle behind him follow me. Guy never had a chance to do anything stupid. Well, he might have to somebody else. He might have hung out at that light for a little while, but he didn't get me. And once we got to the apartment, my uncle jumps out of the truck, goes, hey, did you see that guy that had that socket extension? He was about to do something stupid. I said, yeah, I know. He walked right up to the side of my truck. He goes, oh, I had my pistol out and ready. I was ready to run up there if you needed it. I said, oh, it's all right. I had mine in the cup holder. He saw it when I picked it up. He knew that I was ready. He saw that and he backed off. He did the right thing when he was planning on doing the wrong thing. But that's how that one ended. And so that's why it's always nice to have a pistol within reach. There's a guy I knew that said, oh yeah, people give me respect because they know what's in my truck out there. So, oh, I got this 5-inch barrel, 45, something or other. I said, well, what's it doing in your truck? I said, why don't you carry it with you? Because you might as well just keep it at home, because if you need it, you're going to have the same amount of access to it. You're out driving the work truck somewhere and something happens. Well, the pistol's back in your truck at work. What good does that do you? And my little sister asked me one time, why in the world do you buy guns? Why do you need more than one gun? Why do you need this and that? I said, because it's a crazy world we live in, and I refuse to be a victim. If somebody wants to come up and do something, I'm not going to lay down and just beg them for mercy. I'll do what I have to do to protect me and my family, and I'm not going to be a victim. So that was my first time I ever drew a gun on somebody. Actually, I think that's the only time I had to draw a gun on somebody. Other than that, I just have it just in case. You don't need a fire extinguisher planning on there being a fire. You have it just in case. Just the same thing with guns. You carry a gun just in case you need it. You're not out looking for a fight. You're not out looking to cause trouble. But you have it just in case trouble comes and finds you. Because there are bad people out there. There are people that don't want to work. They just want to take what you worked for. But you can't shoot over stuff. I just have it just in case they want to do something to me. So you got to be smart. You got to be safe with it. And you got to realize anything you do is going to reflect on the entire gun community. So don't do nothing stupid. One person does something wrong, all of us are in trouble. and they're already trying to take our guns enough as it is. So that's my story, and yep, I'm gonna get back to work, so keep on working.